There are wins that go in the record book, and there are wins that go somewhere deeper. This week, Kyle Larson delivered both in the same night, and once again he made sure the second one mattered more than the first. Thursday night at Eldora Speedway, under those famous high banks that have swallowed careers and made legends, Larson did something he's only done one other time in his life. He won the high-limit racing Joker's Jackpot 2 years running. Same track, same trophy, same driver standing in victory lane. But this year, that win came with a purpose that had nothing to do with trophies at all. Because when Kyle Larson climbed out of that sprint car, his mind wasn't on the $100,000 check waiting for him. It was on a friend who isn't here to see it. Kyle Busch passed away on May 21st at just 41 years old, after a brutal battle that started as severe bacterial pneumonia and turned into sepsis. He was a two-time Cup Series champion, a man who raced everything from pavement to dirt to off-road trucks, and by every account from the people who knew him, someone who left the sport better than he found it. Since his passing, NASCAR hasn't stopped finding ways to remember him. But nobody has made it as personal or as consistent as Kyle Larson. Because this wasn't the first time. This wasn't even the second or third time. Larson has made it something of a mission this year to funnel his winnings straight into the charity Kyle and his wife, Samantha, built together, the Bundle of Joy Fund, an organization dedicated to helping couples who are fighting their own quiet battles with infertility and IVF. He's already done it after big wins at Davenport Speedway and Cedar Speedway. Now, Eldora joins that list with $2,000 in angel donor winnings going straight to a cause that clearly means something to him. When he sat down for his post-race interview, Larson didn't dance around why he keeps doing this. He told the crowd and everyone watching from home that this has become a habit for him this season, sending his winnings toward the Busch family's fund every chance he gets. And then he did something a lot of drivers wouldn't bother to do. He asked the fans to join him, not as a suggestion buried in a press release, but as a direct, on-camera request to the people who love the sport as much as he does. What stood out most was how Larson talked about Kyle Busch's legacy, not just as a champion, not just as a name on a trophy, but as someone who shaped racing across every surface it's raced on. Dirt, asphalt, off-road, it didn't matter to Busch, and Larson made a point of saying that. He talked about wanting to support what Busch and Samantha built together, and about looking forward to seeing her again this week, a small detail that says a lot about how close this circle of racing still is, even after losing one of its own. Now let's talk about the race itself, because Larson didn't just show up and coast to a feel-good moment. He earned every bit of that Eldora trophy the hard way. Driving the number for Silva Motorsports, Larson rolled off from the pole position on that tricky half-mile, high-banked oval, a track that punishes even the smallest mistake. And almost immediately, things didn't go his way. He lost the lead early, watching another car slide past him in those opening laps, the kind of moment that can unravel a night if a driver lets frustration take over. Larson didn't let it. He settled in, worked the car, and slowly clawed his way back toward the front. By lap 23 of the 35-lap feature, he found himself side by side with Rico Abreu, one of the toughest competitors in sprint car racing, for the race lead. And this time, when Larson got to the front, he didn't let go. He crossed the finish line 1.480 seconds ahead of Abreu, a gap that doesn't sound like much until you remember how tight these dirt track finishes usually are. That checkered flag gave Larson his 15th career win on the high-limit racing tour and $100,000 in prize money, the richest single-night payout in sprint car racing. It's worth sitting with that for a second. A driver who's already a defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, already one of the most talented racers on the planet, still drives sprint cars on dirt in the middle of his Cup season, still chases wins at bull rings like Eldora, and still, every single time he wins, thinks about someone else before he thinks about himself. That's the through line here. Kyle Larson isn't just winning races this year. He's carrying a piece of his friend with him every time he does it, turning victory lane into something closer to a tribute than a celebration. And by asking fans to give what they can, he's turning a personal ritual into something the entire racing community can be part of. Kyle Busch built more than a racing career. He built a family, a foundation, and clearly a bond with a fellow competitor that didn't end when he did. Kyle Larson is making sure of that, one dirt track at a time. As for what's next, Larson doesn't get much time to catch his breath. He's back behind the wheels Sunday, July 19th at North Wilkesboro Speedway, with coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT Sports. Another race, another chance for a win, and if history is any indication, another chance for Kyle Larson to make sure that whatever he takes home doesn't just stay in his own pocket.